So now we're going to talk about one of the more important things that I've discussed too when it comes to shoulder hip separation, and then even our direction, right? And then even on top of that, being consistent and accurate in throwing strikes, giving ahead in the count. I have to stay closed. And by being closed, what I mean is this. Number one, my hips haven't opened too early. So I'm not landing and this hip's already starting to go like this. Okay. I'm staying back and landing back like this. Okay. Which not only includes the hips, like I said, right? Also includes that shoulder. I've kind of talked about this in another video. Again, the example I like to use is there's two different ways to describe it. Number one, as I go to land and throw, I almost push this shoulder the opposite direction. And what I do is when I push that shoulder, I also move my belly button the same way. Okay. Because our trunk is what will create more of the separation. I can do this with my shoulders, but that doesn't really do a ton. I want to get this way with my belly button, and now it's faced that way. So when it comes to staying closed, what I really want to do is, and what I see a lot of younger kids doing is they like to pull this glove hard because they think too, like, especially when a kid's a little bit smaller than maybe a little taller, I see it more often, is when they pull that glove, they think they got to use everything they can to actually throw harder by ripping this through. But really what they're doing is actually cutting off their power and not being consistent by staying closed. Because I get closed very simply by doing that, or I get open again and get through the ball if I'm closed simply by doing this. When I'm here, all I do is turn that over. Now, guess what? Now I've opened up a lane for my other arm to throw. I don't have to do this to get my arm to come through. Because when I do that, you see how my kind of hand went? When I get here real quick, wham, now where am I throwing the baseball? I'm probably shooting it over there. If I open up too early, too fast, and I lose that power. And again, we want to stay back. So to stay close, how I like to approach it is, like I said, number one, you're pushing this back a little bit, and then you're always going to be looking over the shoulder again, right? But all I do is as I go to land, I almost push that back a little bit. And also what you can do is just start close in the beginning. The more I stay close and I stay quiet or calm by just holding my body in that position, makes it a lot easier to stay closed as I go to throw the baseball. Now, the other example I try to use is a lot of kids play video games, Fortnite, right? Storm's closing in, blah, blah, blah. I'm coming out of the storm. There's some guy running, blah, 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 right? I got to just try to shoot at him. But if I pull my sight, right, my scope that I have on that gun or whatever I'm using, when I go to shoot at the guy, if I pull this way, bam, I'm done. It's over. Same in pitching. If I pull that every time, I'm never going to be able to throw a strike and actually hit my intended target. But if I can stay on, I'll probably hit that guy. I'll get top three. Yay for me. My buddies are happy. I'm cool. But here's the other part is that if I stay closed long enough, okay, then I allow everything to just snap out front at the timing it should happen. So to wrap all of that together, we stay closed to create shoulder hip separation, which is in another video. We stay closed to allow myself to drive through the ball rather than around the ball, right? Too early. I stay closed to use that sight and have an intended target that I want to go after, which pairs with my stride direction that I've talked about in another video. And then number four, if I stay closed, I throw hard. It's that simple. So thanks for watching.